What's happening, connoisseurs? It's Rod with Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, news, and interviews. Today's Tuesday, February 11th. Hope you're well. In this video, we're going to be discussing Organigram's recent Q1 2025 earnings that came out this morning. They did miss in terms of revenue by quite a bit, and EPS was pretty much flat, but that's why the stock is down here. Pre-market, it was down last time I checked about 11%, but we'll take a look at that and the chart and what to expect in terms of price action, the technicals, and the days, weeks, months ahead. But as always, not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. And before we get to it, make sure to smash the like, tick the bell, all that good stuff. You'll be notified on any future content. You can also follow us over on X, formerly Twitter. Handle for that is @GroupPow. And full disclosure, I do own Organigram, a fairly large position in my portfolio. Full transparency. So Organigram did post on X strong momentum this quarter. Proud of the progress with more to come. So they give a couple of highlights here: 42.7 million in net revenue, and as I mentioned before, we were looking at an estimate of 48.935 million, and so like I said, quite a bit. I was a pretty decent miss there in terms of revenue. Their adjusted EBITDA was 1.4 million, up from 0.1 million year over year. 3.3 million in international sales, 10 plus million in expected synergies. And they have number one market share position in Canada, dominating multiple key product categories, reinforcing competitive strength. And they have their flagship brands, Shred, Box Hot, reached over 385 million in combined retail sales over the last 12 months. I've tried quite a bit of their Shred products, and I really enjoy the gummies. The straight edge pre-rolls are not too bad either, but definitely, the crown jewel there has been their edibles. I would say I would like to see some information on to, how much the edibles really accounts for that in that Shred brand, because every time I'm in the store, I always hear people looking to buy those gummies as well. So they're very, very popular where I'm from here in Edmonton, Alberta. So we'll take a look at a little bit more of the details here. So if we scroll down to the EPS and the loss, so here we go. Here, net loss 22,957,000, and that equates to per basic common share, so earnings per share, negative 0.202, and we were forecasting around negative 0.24. So it was, but you have to do the conversion because, like I said, there was some very many analyst estimates. So I just went based on what Mumu was saying, and then I did the conversion. But you can basically say it came in flat for earnings per share, but revenue did miss by quite a bit, about 6 million. So that's why the stock is currently down over 12% now. We're sitting at $1.52 here pre-market. So I do want to see, one thing I like to take a look at as well is excise taxes. So generally, companies like MJ companies like Organigram or Oxley or some of these other 100% pure MJ plays, they tend to pay around 1/3 of their revenue toward excise taxes. So if they made 60, this is gross, so 66.806 times, and they usually pay about, like I said, 1/3. So if we times that by 0.33, that's around 22. So over 1/3 of the revenue went to federal excise taxes here in Canada. That's not factoring in other taxes like payroll taxes, income taxes, property taxes, right? That's just excise tax alone. So over 1/3. And that's why, some of these other companies, like a Canopy Growth or Tilray, they don't have as much excise tax because they have other sectors and other, diversification. That's not just MJ operations. And if you look at a name like Organigram, it's all MJ operations, and they have to pay pretty much excise tax on all of it, right? So that's why you end up seeing a lot more there. I do want to just take a look at their cash position as well. So cash at quarter end, December 31st, 2024, was 44.298 million. And we'll just go through a couple of the highlights here. So 17% growth in net revenue, as I mentioned, 42.7 million, 2.3 million growth in international sales. Already mentioned that. Launched Edison Sonics with proprietary fast nanoemulsion technology, clinically validated to have up to 50% faster onset and nearly 2x impact of cannabinoids at peak. So I haven't tried those, and I'm going to add that on my shopping list. But if anybody else has tried those, let me know, and what your thoughts are, like especially compared to the regular the regular option for nano emulsion because this is a new, like I said, proprietary formulation. So be curious to hear what everybody else has to say as well. Strong balance sheet with negligible debt and a pro forma cash position of 113 million. And we know that they have their partnership there with BAT, British American Tobacco, and they've sunk in around 124 million dollars, and I think it's around like 40% that they own. So overall, love the company long term. I think it's going to be one of the clear winners. But look at this: number one market share position in Canada, holding the number one position in vapes, number one in pre rolls, number one in milled flour, number one in hash, number one in pure CBD gummies, number three in edibles, and number three in dried flour. So, like I said, very impressive company, and a little bit of a shaky quarter here, but we should see, in my opinion, over the next couple of quarters as they, kind of get this acquisition under their belt, we should start to see a little bit more synergies here and whatnot. In Q2, let me just see here. In addition to the anticipated 41.5 million from British American Tobacco on the investment tranche, which is expected to close in February, further strengthens our balance sheet and fuels our international expansion goals. Love it. All right, going to end it there. We'll take a look at, I think that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Their margins were, adjusted gross margin was 33%. So not too bad there. And I wanted to get this video out as quickly as possible for the market open because I know there's going to be already getting questions. Why is the stock down? There wasn't a whole lot of estimates out there that were available. So the stock isn't as covered by as some of these other names by analyst estimates, by analysts on Wall Street. So these analyst estimates were far and few between here this quarter, but they do have a conference call as well. That started, it was just too early for me today. So it was today at 8 a.m. Eastern time. That's 6 a.m. Mountain time where I'm from. So it's long after that, but I might try and catch the replay. If anybody did join the call, please let me know what stood out. What was your biggest takeaway? And let me know what you think of this earnings. Do you think it was overall a net positive quarter? Let me know again what you didn't like, what you did like, what stood out to you in this report. And if you're ever wondering where to get, the full interim consolidated financial statements, you can just go to CDAR and go to company profile, search the documents, and then grab it there. So taking a look at OGI here, so we're currently down just around 11.5% here. Daily consolidation underway, and this is an example of what happens when you have no daily support, right? This move all came off of the low with no daily higher low and no support. So once we lost the low of yesterday, daily consolidation is underway, and we had no support all the way down to 150, and here we are sitting at 153 pre-market. So a lot of names were doing this as well. CGC was another one. It had its earnings as well in a negative reaction and no daily support, same thing, right? So OGI, kind of a similar playbook here, where we had no daily support, bearish reaction to earnings, and miss in terms of revenue. It was the opposite kind of for Canopy. They had huge miss in terms of EPS and big loss, but they did trim their loss quite a bit from the prior year quarter. But overall, Organigram, similar move, but they missed in terms of revenue and slight beat on EPS. But if we take a look at some of our longer level time frames here, weekly time frame, weekly consolidation, not yet underway. It's basically still an inside bar this week, but we could see an EMA 12 and 26 bull cross over the next couple of weeks, so it's not looking too bad here. Monthly time frame, we're still battling with that monthly EMA 12. You can see here we closed above it twice, but then on that third candle, we got rejected. So again, if we can see 3 candle closes above that, that'll give us confidence that the bottom is in for now, but we still need to confirm a monthly uptrend as well. So this temporary bottom, potentially a long-term bottom. If we confirm a monthly uptrend, then we'll be very confident. So as of right now, we're just looking for this. We're in an equilibrium. So we have our low, high, higher, low, lower, high, higher, low. So we're just tightening up, and we're going to see which way we break out of this range. But it's going to be a while before we see any major confidence that the sector's ending a multi-year bear market and starting a potential multi-year bull market. We need to see 70-80% of the the stocks in this sector confirming monthly uptrends, and there's only like a couple outliers that are in monthly uptrends right now. So you can't have like 2 out of 100 names, or maybe not that. I probably track around close to 40 or 50 different MJ stocks, but we can't just have 1 or 2. We need to have 80 or 90% of these major of the major players, right? Weekly time frame, we did have a stochastic and a MACD bull cross, so again, not looking too bad here on the higher level time frames. The 50 and the 100 weekly moving average cross, but we're still bumping our heads there as resistance. So if we can get a few candles, weekly candle closes over that, we did close above our daily moving averages here, but we'd be back down, coming down to around that 200-day moving average there at 156. And still a little ways away before we see a golden cross with the 50 and the 200-day moving average crossing. That could potentially happen over the next couple of weeks. I would say at least 2, maybe 3 weeks before we see that happen. All right, going in it there. Hopefully this video was helpful. And like I said, wanted to get it out as quickly as I could, close to the open. Still very early here on the West Coast. So like I said, if you did join the conference call, please let me know what your biggest takeaway was from that. And let me know what you think of these earnings in the comment section below. We'll continue the conversation there. Hope you have a fantastic day. It's Rod with Pow Group. Thanks again for joining us in the pursuit of wealth, and we'll catch you on the next one.